Shut it back. Words of a faint, something like a bat. Well, I want your love, call me when you can. Girl, going up, going up.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, and in today's deep dive we're going to be going over Togekiss. Togekiss is a fairy flying type Pokemon who carries the fast move Charm. Now Charm is a fairy move, so fairy does super effective damage against Dark, Dragon, and Fighting. And Togekiss is another Pokemon that has a lot of viable charge moves. Well, I say viable, but we'll go over that in a second. And the moves are Sky Attack, Ancient Power, and Flamethrower. And I didn't put the numbers next to them because these moves actually take a long time to charge up, because Charm is a very slow energy gain move. Now, what it gives up in energy gain, it makes up for in damage dealt. I think it's the second highest damage move currently in Pokemon Go. I think the top one is Razor Leaf. A lot of people think they're exactly the same, but they're a little different. Charm does a little less damage. Now, the moves that the charge moves you can choose from vary, but to be fair, you probably aren't going to make it to more than one of these, so choose whichever move you want to be shielded pretty much. Or if you somehow get into a situation where the opponent doesn't have shields, you're going to want to choose the two moves that will give you the most extra coverage, but I wouldn't rely on these as coverage moves in your team. So let's go over those moves a little in depth. There's Sky Attack, which is a flying type move, so that's going to be super effective against Fighting, Grass, and Bug. Ancient Power is a rock move, and we've gone over this one before with Relicanth. It's going to be good against Bug, Fire, and Flying. It's also going to have the ability to get a 10% boost on your a 2-point boost on your attack and defense. The last move that you'll want to use on your Togekiss is Flamethrower, which is going to be good against Bug, Grass, Ice, and Steel. So he also has another. Togekiss also has another move of, I believe it's Dazzling Gleam. Now the problem with that move, or the reason you wouldn't want to use that move, is because since it already has a fairy type hard hitting fast move, it doesn't really make a lot of sense to use a charge move of fairy type also. It's almost like win more, but it really isn't even going to do that. So now Togekiss is an interesting Pokemon because usually you are going to get Togepi from eggs, and as we know, when you get a Pokemon from an egg, it is level 20 minimum, so it's always going to be level 20. I said minimum, but it's actually just always level 20 exactly. So the only way to have Togekiss be under 1500 and be in the Great League is if you caught it. And there have been events where I think it's Togetic, has been in the wild and under level 17. I'm sorry, under level 20 in general. So the way I got mine was at Chicago Go Fest. There just so happened to be one Togetic that was under level 20. Actually, I think there were a few under level 20, but I didn't catch them all because at the time I wasn't thinking about, hey, I'm going to want this for PvP, because I think at the time it also didn't have the move Charm, which really brought these Pokemon into the scene, or into prominence. So let's go over so the PV Perfect IVs for a Togekiss is, well, there are two that are considered perfect. It'll have you at 100% of the max stats, and that is 0 attack, 14 defense, 11 stamina, or 0 attack, 12 defense, 13 stamina, and both of those are at level 17. So the resistances for fairy and flying type Pokemon are you're going to be double resistance against bug, double resistance against dragon, and double resistant against fighting, as well as single resistant against dark grass and ground. The weaknesses you'll have are electric, steel, ice, poison, and rock. So, like I stated, one of the bad things about Togekiss is that it is very hard to get under level 20 unless they have another event where some of these Pokemon are going to spawn in the wild. You're not going to be able to get this any other way. I imagine they will, because I don't like the fact that some of these Pokemon are like quote-unquote rare to get, or just had to be at an event or things like that. Now, one of the good things about Togekiss is that it actually beats a lot of the big players in the meta if you are willing to use a shield. So we'll get to that in a second. Actually, let's go over it right now. So Togekiss actually, like I said, does a ton of damage from its fast move, but it doesn't really get to its charge moves very reliably. Now, the thing about that is, you don't have to worry about the shielding scenarios of another Pokemon, because you're not really going to be using your charge attacks, meaning that you just have to get to a certain number of charms against a certain Pokemon to feint it, and they can't really do anything else about it except try to knock you out with fast moves. So in order to counter that, all you have to do is shield a move that is going to be super effective against you, or is going to take you out, and then the charms will take out those Pokemon. So some of those Pokemon you're going to be doing well against are the types that you resist well, and those are going to be Umbreon, Defense Deoxys, Medicham, Sableye, Tropius, and even Lugia. Lugia is a little less meta, but still, people will be using it. And the Pokemon you're not going to be doing well against are Azumarill, Forretress, Bronzong, Melmetal, Bastiodon, Probopass, and Skarmory. And a lot of those are steel types. You have a bug type in there as well. Well, no, that's steel also. Sorry. Most of those are steel types, or they have moves that are super effective against the flying type of Togekiss. Togekiss is another good cliffhanger 0-point Pokemon because, like I said, with one shield you can defeat a lot of the meta. So if you're looking to still fill in some of your team and you don't have any points left, maybe look to Togekiss to fill in some of those gaps. So that's going to be it for this deep dive on Togekiss. If you want to watch the next deep dive, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And if you have any other Pokemon you want me to go over in a deep dive, go ahead and leave that in the comments. I think this might be the last one for a little bit. I'm actually going to be traveling to Iceland, so I won't have access to create any of these for the next couple of weeks. So hopefully this was enough to get your appetite quenched for a little while at least, and then I'll be back to make some more deep dives. So go ahead and list which ones you want me to do, and I will get to that. So thanks for watching.